Welcome to another episode of Shane Solomon Meets. I'm delighted to be here in Marylebone at Homegrown Private Members Club. Now, I'm super excited to meet this beautiful lady, Z. I've been introduced to her by Debbie Bryan, the TEDx speaker. Just in case you didn't know, everyone knows who Debbie is now. But Z, it's a pleasure to meet you. You look absolutely fantastic and radiant and perfect in the yellow, by the way.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate to be here. And you
Ah,
welcome me so warmly.
Oh, well, it's an absolute pleasure. And I'm just making sure this is definitely yellow because I'm colorblind.
I'm matching with
I
your
know.
fishes. See,
I know, right? We're a good match with the colors, that is for
definitely.
sure. Now, straight away, I want to find out more about you. Now, of course, you're not from these parts of the world. You're from Bulgaria. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So
Yeah.
born in Bulgaria?
Yes, I'm born in Bulgaria.
Okay. And then, so just give me a bit of a kind of backstory then. So, at what point, what was your kind of life growing up and your kind of thoughts and what you aspired to be?
Um, I'm born in the time of the communism in Bulgaria. We were very suppressed. We didn't have the freedom even to express our thoughts. We couldn't even listen Beatles. We were very suppressed of the outside world. Um, uh, it's we grow up with very scarcity mindset. Even for Christmas, I remember as a child, we only had bananas and oranges for Christmas. My mother used to buy them with coupons, for example. But in the same time, looking back, compared now, I would say people were a lot more happier at home. The neighbors would just drop on the door, they cook something, they bring something in the table, we put the music and we have a laugh. And what happened is after the communism, I would say people get more envy from each other, more selfish, the desire of them to have more, luxury stuff. It changed all the people itself. They locked down inside, and I think we lost that friendly, warm culture we used to had.
So, how do you then? There'll be people listening to this, and when I do my podcasts and video series, people are always looking for the inspiration from people's podcasts.
Yeah.
So, how do you, when you're in that situation of being brought up, get to where you are now? I know there's a lot of information in between, but what was the big part in your mindset that took you on that journey to where you want to be?
It has been a journey, definitely, with lots of ups and downs. Um, I think my desire of achieving more, exploring the world, connect with another cultures, learning more about another cultures and their lives, it's inspired me. I'm coming from Varna, which is the third biggest city in the country, and then I moved to the capital city. And even that was small for me, and always wanted to leave the country, but it wasn't easy. Um, I have my sister; she's 8 years old of me, and from school she moved to Germany. Uh, and my first experience to leave the country, it was probably around 17 years of age when I went to visit her. And that was a big an eye opening for me, seeing how other people live. Even things going to the restaurant and having a beautiful meal. And people were nice and friendly to each other and always say hello and open door for you. It was very different to the world I grew up in. And I think that also inspired me to get higher education, go in university, learn different skills for me to grow personally and to achieve more in my life.
So, So how did you get that inspiration though? So, so you're brought up with all this kind of what I would call lack and no kind of encouragement.
Mm.
So where did you find that fight, that kind of where did you find it from?
I think it's when you don't have something, you're always wanting something more. And I didn't have um, my parents try to give me as much as they can't. But that wasn't enough for me. And seeing my sister, she's very different than me. I'm the one who is the rebel in the family. I'm the one who wants more, who wants to achieve more, the one who goes against all the rules and society, and wants to be, I guess, be myself. And so when I left the country a couple of years ago, I came to UK 2016. I left the country at 2000. And I went for first time by coincidence. A friend of mine, she said to me, "Would you like to come to Ireland and work there?" And I never heard even about Ireland. And I said, "Yes, I'm getting the opportunity. The chance is there. The door is open. I'm go for it." And in life, you have to be like this. You have to, when you see opportunity, just go for it. Listen to your heart. And that was the time I went to Ireland. Um, and I managed to save money. I bought my first apartment back home, and I had a son, which that was the difficult part, which I had to deal with. I left my son; he was 3 years of age, but I had to make the choice to sacrifice in order to give him the better future. And now he's living here with me, and I'm so happy. He's a very responsible young man, working hard, very entrepreneurship, very strong-minded. And so I'm proud of it, because that was my dream, to give the better future for my son.
And how old is your son now?
26.
Okay.
That gives away my age.
Well, I'm not going to focus on it too much. So, how long were you in Ireland for then, and what kind of things did you do in Ireland?
I went there probably for a year and a half to 2 years, I would think. I was dancing in the nightclub, and it was a very difficult time. I remember a week after being there, I was crying my eyes off, and I was in the stage of, should I stay here or should I go back home, because I was missing my son so much. I have to make the decision, and I'm glad that I was strong enough to um, get over that obstacle in my life. And that open opportunity was traveling after that to San Martin, when I come across lots of people, people with who had nothing, and they were so humble. And I came across people who had the beautiful yachts, the luxury life, and you get the both worlds. You see the both worlds. And I remember when I was in San Martin, I was working on the beach, where the old cruise ships were coming in, and I was looking at the cruise ships and everybody there, and said, one day I want to be in that cruise ship. It was my dream, and I could not even imagine that now I have the opportunity to travel around the world and go into beautiful places, in luxury hotels, and do the cruises with ease. And so when I came back to UK, I started my first business. And I never knew anything about business.
Not many people do. Not many
No,
people do.
and I never had anybody to show me, how to run a business.
Mhm.
And the first business I started by coincidence, I found in a magazine a beauty treatments and different type of the machines, and I loved a machines called Beauty Tech, and it was combining all the body with different treatments. And I went to the office, and the guy who had the sole rights for the machine, he said to me, "Yeah, it's cost 35K." I said, "Oh my God, I don't have 35K." And I wrote my first business plan. I went to the bank asking for a loan. And the manager in the bank looked at me and said, "Nobody here is going to pay £100 for treatment." And I said, "Okay, go back to the 0 point." I went back to the office and I said, "Can I rent the machine?" And that's where I could pay off. And I had the chance to rent the machine. A lot. I arranged a friend of mine log cabin to start to work from, and I created my first ad in the newspaper. And I did like first treatment free and first consultation free. And from my first advert, I had 27 clients coming in, and 19 of them they signed full course. In the 16 weeks, I made 35,000K, and I paid off the machine.
That's an amazing story.
It's unbelievable when you just go for the things. You feel You trust intuition and just go for it.
Yeah, that's right. And there's so many people that say no to people all the time. Say you can't do that, you can't do this. I remember when I was younger, all I wanted to do was sing for a living. And everyone said, no, you can't do that. But I knew in my mind I could.
Good,
And
yeah.
by the time I was 18, I was singing professionally. So that's the same principle where you just knew, even though the bank managers would say, oh, no one's going to pay you £100 for treatments. You knew, you knew that you had that intuition.
Yes, I didn't let all the little voice in your head. No, you can't do it. No, you're gonna fail. Oh, you don't know anything about this business. You don't know about marketing. What will happen. And that's the thing. Don't listen the voice in your head. You just go for it. What your heart wants and what you feel inside, you're drawn to.
Sure. So,
And if you
okay.
have the passion, you
Yeah,
always have success.
absolutely. And you've got to follow the passion. I'm a big advocate in that. You've got to be absolutely sure that you've got to be doing things that you love doing. If you didn't love doing them, creating videos, in this case, podcasts or things like that, if you didn't like do it, don't do it, because it's a long time to do things that you don't like doing,
Definitely, yeah.
and the passion comes through. So, with this being said, then, so you've had a kind of aesthetics business.
Yeah.
Do you still have that business?
Yes, I still have that
You still
business.
have that business, and where does that operate from? Where do you go with that? Is it mobile? Is it in a
No, it's I
premises?
have a clinic in Essex.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
great. I'll have to book in to go and go to that one
No, you
sometime.
don't need
I
anything.
do, I do, I do. But so you've still got that business, but you've moved into the kind of I like this bit, the light language healer. So talk to me a bit about that. What does it mean?
Okay.
I think I know what it means, but
What will happen is, a couple of years ago, I got through a very dramatic stage in my life. Now I got through divorce, and very short time. The marriage lasts very short time, and I think that was the pivot point in my life where I had to look back and um, evaluate where my life goes on, uh, what why the reasons, the things in the past happened, the patterns of the me going in a different, for example, relationships where I was attracting negative people, I was attracting people who abuse me physically, mentally, and looking back, the pattern was coming from my childhood because um, as a child, I will say I had the father wounds, and all my life I was trying to prove myself to be the best one, to be the better, compare my sister, for example, and that was driving me to get better and better, better. But I did not realize that everything what happened is because I didn't receive the love from my parents. I realized that after the dramatic situation in my life and look back into it. And many women, what I found after 40s, they're devoted mothers, um, or they're going through the divorces, for example, and you ended up in a crossroads and you ask yourself, is that all in life? You know, why this happened and why I don't feel fulfilled inside? What's my purpose? Where I want to go now? What's the next in my life? And uh, because of the situation in my life, a friend of mine, she introduced me to energy healing, and I never knew anything about energy healing. And she opened completely different door for me. After the session with her, I was in very low state where you don't see the light in front of the tunnel. And uh, after the session, it was like I felt so peace and happy and smiling, and I had the hope. I could see like a glimpse of my future life, and that's what make me go more into it to understand it and learn how I can implement in my life to be better and create the life I want, where I'm happy and where I'm fulfilled. And that's what I teach now. That's what, when I work with my clients, I help them with to find the inner peace, to find the purpose in their life, to let go of the past with ease. because you don't have to fix yourself. You're perfect as you are. You just have to learn how to let go and heal. When you heal inside, and it's an energy, you heal everything. Your vibration goes higher, and when you live in the state of happiness, gratitude, then when you open your heart, then you attract the right people to you. You attract the positive, you attract the opportunities, you attract the money you want, you attract the love you want. But it's important to do the inner work and to look inside you.
Sounds very easy if you're in a right frame of mind, though. If you're feeling good, then I get that. So, how do people cope and deal with that when they're not feeling so good, when things are bad, when they're attracting all the bad things, when they've got the abusive relationships, whether they've got bad success in business, they keep failing, and they're feeling really low and down? How do they get from there? I know, I appreciate it will take time,
Yeah.
but how do they get from that rut in that stuck of a hole? How do they get out and start living this kind of life that you talk about? How can they start to do that with you?
You get to the point when you say to yourself, enough is enough. And that's where you need to ask for help. And in my situation, I didn't have anybody to ask for. I didn't know what is it to be, even in my culture, when the situation with happens. And I just talked to my mom and I tell her, and she said, "You chose that person. It's your choice. Live with it. You know, why are you complaining for? You're living in the 500,000 house. You have such a beautiful life. Why are you complaining for?" And I felt so lonely because nobody could understand me, but that's their culture, that's their generation. And that's what drives me to help others. Just ask for help because you're not alone. Many people going through the same stage. And when you're open and when you ask, and when you're honest with yourself what you want, and you find strength to ask for it, then the doors open. And I see lots of women on internet. They're very vulnerable and they're scared. And sometimes you're scared because you cannot see your future in front. You cannot see beyond that. You deserve something better. You can have something better because you're stuck in that loop when somebody else controlling you, for example, and you feel weak. You lose your identity. You don't know who you are anymore, and you need strength and time also to build up your confidence, because everything is about confidence.
Of course, and it's more than just wishful thinking,
Oh, it's
right?
more.
Because it's all okay to go, I wish I woke up in the morning and I didn't have any aches and pains. I wish I woke up in the morning and I had a happy relationship. I wish I would. So it's more than just wishing. You've got to take action, right?
You've got to
For
take
things
action,
to
definitely.
change, we have to change. Where you said enough is enough.
Exactly.
And sometimes you just have to say, that is it. I have to change. And does that mean then that you have to have an accountability partner, someone that, a coach or do you have to have that?
Definitely you do. For
Why?
example, I will tell you, when I start my coaching business, um, on the time of the lockdown, I was following a couple of different coaches, and everything online is everybody is it gives you that perfect picture of, it's so easy. You could have the perfect life tomorrow. It's no problem at all. But nobody talks about the inner work you have to do behind. And when I started my business, I didn't know even how to work in the Zoom. And I go through so many stages. Things has come on the surface which I needed to heal and release. It's like little things. I will look on myself on my phone and I will see my mother, or I have um, the belief that my language is not good enough. People won't take me seriously, and I had to build my confidence. And I learned from my best coaches. I traveled to Australia. I'm qualified a coach a couple of times. I had another coach which actually helped me to get back into my feminine energy, because I was so masculine, because after the divorce I had to be the one to be the mother, and the father to provide for the family. And I didn't know anymore, that feminine side, soft side with me. And I was just like, go, 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 work, 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 hard, 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 work hard. That's all what I knew. And it was a journey learning to balancing the feminine and the masculine energy and balancing your nervous system and to let go of control, for example, or um, when I feel that I'm tired, I would just rest. I wouldn't push myself like I used to. And that belief of working hard, you have to work hard to, create your life you want and have the beautiful things. It's also come from my background, from my culture, because that's how we learned. That's what I saw from my parents, working hard all the time, from 9 to 5 job.
So conditioning.
Yes, it is a conditioning. And I had to let go of that too. But the beautiful side is on the way of building the business, you change. As you grow, your business grow. And the pattern what I see, the clients I attract are my old version like 7, 8 years ago. And that's now I know how to help them. And if I didn't have the coaches to teach me, I wouldn't progress so quickly in my business for such a short time. And that's why when you decide to heal and when you decide to have a coach, it will save you many years of going to therapy, for example, or most of the people they tell you do affirmations every day. Doing affirmations every day is not enough to reprogram your mind. When something which you are programmed for so many years to let go of that, it takes a lot more.
So how do you keep your mind sharp now? How do you wake up each day? How do you go about each day?
I continue learning. I never stop learning. I continue connecting with lots of women because you learn from everybody. You learn from everyone's story and you grow. Um, it has been challenging, like every business. You just have to have a strong mind and keep going. It's my passion, it's my purpose. And I'm grateful and blessed to be here to help others.
So who inspires you then? I'm assuming your son now inspires you, but before your son came along, what people, what things inspired you to go about your day?
Um, a year ago, I was in the state when I said to myself, "Mm, now it's my time. I don't care how much money it's going to cost me, but I'm just going to follow my heart and I'll do whatever my heart wants." And that's how I found Magnetic Mind Chris Duncan online in Australia, and I studied his methods. That's how the first time I connect with my intuition, and it was a beautiful moment because I never knew that I would be able to do that. And after that, I come across with Master Shri Avinashi, and I went to learn with him his method of working with energy. And that was the time when actually my hands got activated. And from then, I started receiving my own gifts. And I'm able, when I work with the clients one to one, I could see exactly where the situation in their life, in the childhood, or from the parents, or from the ancestors, or past lives, everything what they hold in the energetic field, I could see where they have created the beliefs which subconsciously now affect them to go forward. And that little belief, subconscious belief, is what's sabotaging you. You
Okay.
don't even realize that, and you don't know what you're holding. And it's scientifically proof that we hold the whole trauma through the generation up to 17 generations in our energetic body.
Wow.
It is fascinating.
Wow, that's why I'm so heavy laid down with all these people and stuff. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm crying now.
But that's why sometimes things happen in your life and you don't know why they happen.
Wow. Do you know what? I have never thought about that before. That
It
is really
it
interesting.
is very
So
interesting.
what my parents, when I was a child growing up, that I wouldn't have remembered when I was 1, 2, 3 years old, 4 years old. But
Oh,
whatever would have been going on in the house at that time, that would
yes.
have had an effect on me, right?
And it's we carry in the trauma even from your birth. You carry the trauma from two parents together when you're in your birth and you don't know. For example, if your mother was going through this stressful situation
Mm, mm,
and you have an older brother and she was stressed about the family,
yeah,
everything else, that stress actually you pick up the energy when you're in the womb and you carry on that stress with you.
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So what next for you now then? So I'm really intrigued on the healing side of things, the kind of the energy. How would you define energy? What is energy?
Okay, it's a different vibration. For example, if your emotions, if you're in a very low state of emotions, you came from a lack, from a need. I need this in my life. I'm not happy. I'm depressed. I'm stressed. You're vibrating very low vibration. But when I clear all that energetic field with all that emotions, and that emotions are connected with the thoughts and with the situations, private situations in your life. When I energetically clear that connection, you still have the memory, for example, what happened in the past, but you're not emotionally connected to. And that doesn't affect you anymore in the future when you want to make any decisions. When you clear all that, your vibration goes up. You vibrating your emotions, you feel happier, you feel grateful every day. Just little things, wake up in the morning, be grateful that you're alive. And that will lift your vibration. You will be happy, you will have a beautiful day. Instead of go up in the morning and say, oh, I have a very long day, lots of meetings, I don't know what's gonna happen. At that point, your vibration is low. And when you clear all that, when you vibrate higher, you open up yourself. You open up your heart. You generate love from your energy around you. And energy, it's people around you. They'll feel it. You feel when you're happy, and you will help them also to feel happy.
Can everyone have happiness? Do you think everyone can be fulfilled? Do you think everyone can have good energy?
Everybody, happiness means different for everybody.
Correct.
Success means different for everybody. If you're happy just to be a mother, and that's what makes you happy, yes. If you want more from your life, you want to be successful, yes. But with what happens is with when we grow from adult stage, we get so conditioned that it's difficult to get out from the circle, from the cycle of it. You want to do something, you go for it, and suddenly the subconsciously the beliefs you have, it pulls you back, and you go back to the same position where you started it. And the secret is just to let go from the past and go for it. Take the action and go for what you want. And ignore the talks in your head when, oh no, you can't do this, you don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve success, you're not good enough. You know, let go of that and just go for it.
I hope you don't mind me asking this, but what would you say has been your kind of darkest moment and how did you get over it?
The,
You don't
dar-
have to answer that,
the
but
darkest
it's
moment was going through the divorce and that time of my life, going through the very toxic relationship. That was the darkest time of my life.
and then how did you pull out of that? You could have just gave up and just been depressed forever, but you didn't. How did you pull from something that was so hard for you?
At that time, uh, it's quite difficult to talk about it. Still,
Sure,
um,
I get that.
what happened is I was in the situation where I was with my son. My son was 14 years of age. He just came a year before that in UK to live with me, and we nearly was homeless because of the divorce. And at the same time, my dad passed away, and um, the money from the inheritance I actually invested to rent apartment for us, for both of us, to get out from the marriage. Um, because my ex-husband didn't want me to work, I closed my salon, and I tried to be the mother. I tried to be. I wanted to give security. I wanted to give that father figure for my son and have a family. And well, it didn't work. And at that time, I remember I was just watching movies and crying, and I was saying, "Oh my God, I'm gonna end up old woman with six cats." And it was a difficult time, definitely. Um, and that's where I said, I have to change my life. It cannot continue this way. And that's how I get into the energy healing.
What has that given you?
It gave me everything. It gave me the freedom, the peace, the opportunity to help others, to connect with finding myself, connecting with myself, with my gifts, and that inner peace I never had before.
And do you think you'll always have that now? You will never go back to those sort of scenarios, or
Now my
you
life
won't?
changed. I attract very different people in my life now. I have a beautiful friends. I have a very supportive friends around me. Women, opportunities coming in my way, and I cannot. When you decide to put yourself in first place, when you decide to choose yourself, to choose your own happiness, everything changes. In the old version of myself, I was the people pleaser. I had very low self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, and it's all because of the way I was brought up and the conditioning. But now it's so much more different. I'm confident. I know who I am. I know what I can give, and I have strong boundaries. Boundaries is very important. And if somebody does not um, brings anything positive on my life, I say no. Then before I wouldn't. I would have pleased instead of choosing my own happiness.
And that's one thing too. Time is precious, so you
Definitely.
can't waste it.
No.
If someone says to me, Shane, would you donate £1 or a £5 or a £10 to charity? That's easy. It's done. You just do it. You can always make more money, but we can't make more time. And none of us know. You might know, but it's not many of us know how long we have whilst we're here on this plane, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
So it's very important that we invest our time wisely with the right people. And I say this a lot where I'm with people that are nice people. They're not horrible people, but they're just not the right fit for me.
Exactly.
They're not the right energy. They're not, achieving what I want to achieve. They're fine the way they are. Success looks different to everyone. But for me, I need to be pushing and I need to be high energy people, are feeling great
Definitely, yeah.
vibes the whole time. And then I guess that's the same for you, right?
Exactly. Agree.
So for people listening to this podcast and seeing you for the first time and thinking, I love what this lady is saying, what's the best way for them to follow you, to contact you? What do you prefer? You phone, email, LinkedIn, Instagram?
I have Facebook profile and I have Instagram profile. I every Sunday I have a group for women actually. Every Sunday I do energy healing. They can come and experience it and to feel it because I agree people were not very familiar with energy. And what I do is very unusual. Not many people do what I do. And I invite people just to experience
You do.
it.
You do. You've got me intrigued now. I was just imagining it was all kind of fairy, kind of some lights and some candles.
No.
No?
Okay. Simply to explain, my body is a conduit. I
Okay.
connect with high source divine energy.
Right.
I connect with angels and with God.
Okay.
The energy goes through my body, and I transfer the energy with my hands into your energetic body. Obviously, first I have to have your permission
My permission. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
to access your energy.
Okay.
And when I access your energy, I start directly transferring the light codes. The light codes are specifically tailored to you. You receive it through your heart. It passes your logical mind and speaks to your soul.
Getting excited about this. See?
And also, my body becomes like a mirror of your body. I could feel all the blockages on your body,
Really?
and my body moves. It's like I'm dancing with the light.
How long does this take to do?
When I do one-to-one sessions, the longest session I have done is 3 hours.
Okay.
When I start, I cannot stop it. The energy, when the body takes as what it needs at a certain time, the energy just leaves my body and just cuts me from my knees, and then I can't do anything.
So okay, so don't you
I know.
feel bad afterwards though? So you help this person out, then they feel great, and then do you feel a bit tired and go, "Oh, I'm done"? You know, how do you feel after? How do you feel afterwards?
It's a very strange feeling when I work with the energy. It's like I'm floating. I'm dancing with the energy, and for me, it's fascinating because it's never same. And I see different things. All the time with each person.
Okay. Are you
And
busy after this? Can we go and do something?
no problem. I'll do it for you. No problem
Oh my
at all.
God.
Afterwards, I don't feel tired. I think in the beginning when I start, I did feel tired. Now I go to the gym every week and I have very strong muscles and it's fine. My body can take it. It's not a
Yeah.
problem at all. And a few months ago, I did I do live events in the small church in Liverpool Street.
Okay.
And after my first event, which was like 7 hours, 3 days after that, I could not move from the sofa, if I'm honest.
Wow.
my
Because you've done so
muscles,
much.
my
Yeah.
body, my muscles, everything was just,
Yeah.
please give me a break.
Wow. Wow.
But I love it. I love
Mm.
it. I love seeing the results. You do experience the shift at the time. And I love that face expression in the end when people are so peaceful. You could see the peace on the face. You could see their smile. You could see the pink cheeks when the
Yeah.
blood flows in your body, and the changes also you experience afterwards. You have a period of integration where you have to listen your body because certain emotions will come in the surface, obviously, and you need to release it. And the way you can release the emotion is you may yawn, you may cry, uh, you may feel different sensations, but that's how the body release all the stuck emotions in the chakras. Or suddenly you may have no energy, and it's important just to rest and obviously drink lots of water to dehydrate the body. But what happens is when the light goes into sight in your body starts healing itself inside. We have amazing body where we don't appreciate enough the power we have inside to heal ourselves. And when the body starts healing, it brings back to the original blueprint of the body. And I work with clients, with one of my lady recently, more than a year, the doctors could not find what is the problem. And she was feeling tired. She was experiencing pains all the body. And to deal with the pain, she started drinking alcohol. And after one session with her, couple of days after the sessions, she said to me, I stopped drinking alcohol overnight. I start sleeping, I start eating, A week after that, she said, for first time, I went to the gym after 1 year. And I received beautiful messages, from clients that you changed my life. I can't believe, everything was happening. After one session, a couple of days after that, I had the clients, new clients coming into me, bringing abundance in their life. And it's fascinating. And I'm so curious with each one client, what change is going to happen.
Yeah, sure.
And it's so fulfilling.
And I think for you, the strongest is always going to be the word of mouth, because I think when you say what you do and people hear it, they're
Definitely.
like, wow, if this is as good as you say it is, I'm going to be telling all my friends,
Definitely.
And this is why you get so sought after. Well, see, look, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking. I could speak to you for hours, by the way, but we don't have hours this particular time. But I hope you've enjoyed the process of coming to meet us here today in Homegrown and to come into this podcast setup. But have you enjoyed it? I mean,
it was amazing. Thank you so much.
But you're good at it too. So have you done many of these before?
No, that's actually my first time.
Give me a high
Thank
five.
You for
That's some good
support.
energy there. Well, that's remarkable then, because you really look comfortable sat there. And that is one of the biggest things. I get so many people sat opposite me. I'm just like, but you've been absolutely a pleasure to speak to. And I hope, well, we'll definitely have to keep in touch. 100%. We've got new friends here now. And of course, Jay, who's been producing this as well. Now, is there anything else that you would like to mention about before I wrap this podcast up and then we go and do some energy stuff together?
I just want to inspire women. Doesn't matter in what situation you are now. And if you're not happy, you can always make the change. Just don't give up on yourself and your own happiness, because you deserve it. I strongly believe that.
Absolutely. And that's come from someone who's been there and done it.
Yes.
And that's important. It's not someone that's watched someone else and try and have an opinion. It's someone who's lived it and got through it the other side. So.
And I will say, whatever hardship you had in the past, the way I see it now, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to my ex-husband for that experience, because if that did not happen in my life, I wouldn't be the woman I am today.
Makes sense.
Not necessary. Don't think that the hardship you had in the past is the worst thing happened to you. It's actually is there for you to learn the lesson.
To learn the lesson, yeah. Absolutely. Wise words. Very wise words. Well, see, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. My thanks, as always, to you listening. And I thank you very much indeed. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Debbie Bryan as well for letting me know about this beautiful lady and what she's up to and what she's doing. What an amazing backstory. My thanks also to Jay Kennett, who's been producing the podcast today. But for myself, Shane Solomon, and this lovely lady, we will see you next time.